Richard Sherman announced on his new podcast that he has signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's a one-year deal per Adam Schefter. Sherman said on the PFF Richard Sherman podcast that other teams, including the Niners, Panthers, and Seahawks, expressed interest in signing him, but he ultimately chose the reigning Super Bowl champion Bucs. I wonder what, speaking of PFF, I wonder what his PFF grade was last time on the field, because I don't know, he looked like he could still play to me. Bucs Patriots on Sunday, obviously. What does Sherman add to the Bucs defense? Does he help fix some of the issues, Key, that you have pointed out?
I don't know if he does. I don't know why or what they're looking at in terms of how they want to use him, because in their attacking style and some of the things that they like to do up front with pressure and bringing guys from the front seven and adding havoc, you have to play a lot of man-to-man back there. And at his age, I don't know what they would do to protect him. I know he has a great mind for football. I know he's seen it all.
Got size at the position.
He could certainly add a presence in the locker room as another voice and leader. But I just don't know, playing-wise on the field, what does he have really left? Maybe it's a 10-play deal. Maybe it's a 15-play deal. They need him in their spot play for some of the younger corners, and maybe he becomes sort of this elder statesman coach type, even though he's playing.
It's interesting. There's certain positions where I feel like you can be older or have gone through injuries, and your physical ability could be lesser than what I was before, and it doesn't affect you as much, right? Like quarterback, obviously we're seeing Tom Brady do that to a certain extent. LeBron James, because he's like this forward and he's massive, he could be at that pinch post, that power forward position. But corners, Key, that physical ability, even though he's experienced high football IQ, is that enough to stop a very athletic, fast jet?
Well, he got to be able to run. And
that's exactly my point.
As long as he's not out of position and he doesn't put himself in bad spots, he can use the sideline to protect him with help over the top. I think he'll be fine. I trust that he'll be fine. We don't know yet, right? It just until he gets out there, you don't know. But I wouldn't. I mean, guys like that tend to show up enough to make positive things happen. He's one of those players in his career. There's guys that no matter what it is, Max, nothing ever goes good for him. He's always getting beat. He's there to make the tackle. He falls down.
And that luck's got to go somewhere,
60,
right?
But he's not that guy.
Right.
He's the lucky guy. He's the guy that's out of position, and then all of a sudden, Mac Jones throws the football right to him. It was almost like Ty Law at the end of his career. It was like, well, Ty can't run anymore. Ty about 80 pounds overweight. But everything throughout his career was always positive.
This is what I want to get into. Luck, Branch Rickey, who helped break the color line, Jackie Robinson, right?
Yeah.
Branch Rickey quoted a general from, luck is the residue of design, right? Now, here's my question about Richard Sherman. I never thought of him as one of these super fast, twitchy, athletic dudes. I thought of him as big and smart, right? So the question is, does a guy like that age better because that's already his game? Or does a guy like that, can he less afford to age because he's already relying on his size and his brain? And if he loses even a quarter step, that's critical. Which one is it? Is he the type that would age better because of his skill set or worse because of his skill set?
I think he could age better. He ages better because of his skill set. He is not relying on 4.3 speed. So that's never been his game. His game has never been I run 4.2 and then all of a sudden he's running 4.6 and he's toast. That's not his game. His game is physical at the line of scrimmage, understanding pattern recognition, understanding the scheme that he was in, not blowing coverages. That's who he is. And that's who a lot of the great ones are. You know, you see a handful of guys that blow you away on clock speed. But most of those guys on clock speed aren't the great guys. The great outsider like Deion Sanders, I mean, at corner, most guys all run pretty much the same speed. They're all sub 4.4, 4.5 type guys, except like Prime. Other than that, that's it.
On the Bucs, the fastest dude they got's their worst receiver. Not a Scotty Miller or someone like this. Not a bad receiver, but that's their speed guy. That's not their best guy.
That's what you've been sold for so many years as a fan. You care about the clock speed. Clock speed. It's like, nah, man, that dude plays fast. And that's all that really
What was
matters.
Richard Sherman's 40 time when he came
Richard
out?
Sherman was probably a 4.53 dude.
Let me ask you, if you're
Look it up.
4.56.
See, I didn't even need you looked it up. I just said 4.53. That was probably his best time was 4.53.
Key, considering the way
And that's fast.
the Rams,
You do understand.
yeah, considering the way the Rams attacked the secondary for Tampa Bay, like, how would you? Like, obviously, they're going against the Patriots. Mac doesn't really throw the ball deep a ton. Dolphins, Jacoby Brissett probably can. Eagles, Jalen Hurts can. Like, how would you design defensively? Like, what kind of scheme would you run if you're Tampa Bay in order to? Because obviously he's going to get attacked, right? Like, you try to exploit the opposing team's weakness. So what kind of defensive scheme would you look into in order to kind of mitigate the risk of the secondary?
But he may not be a weakness, though, with them. He may be a strength. And that means that what they do on the back end in terms of coverages and tie bowls and protections means a lot. Covering up for him, they may play him. They may all of a sudden decide they're going to become more of a zone team on the back end and not man-to-man, which falls into Richard Sherman's situation because of his age, because of the ability to be able to run with fast receivers like Jalen Waddle down the field. They're not going to put him on Jalen Waddle.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to the Miami Dolphins to figure out how to get Jalen Waddle on him. And it's up to the Bucs to figure out how to protect him if those things ever happen. Will Fuller, all of a sudden, Nelson Aguilar, all of a sudden, is matched up on Richard Sherman. Now Ty Bowles and the defense has to adjust to cover up to make sure that he's not on an island by himself at this age.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.